Today, we're diving into a matchup that literally defines the phrase tactical masterclass. We're breaking down that massive Group F clash between Japan and Sweden. If you're a fan of the strategic side of the sport, watching two brilliant minds trying to outwit each other on the world's biggest stage, well, you are in for a real treat. What unfolded out there wasn't just a game of physical endurance. It was this high-stakes, 90-minute metaphorical game of tactical chess. I mean, every single run, every synchronized pass, and every defensive block was meticulously calculated.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here's our tactical whiteboard for today. We've got the high-stakes setup, the first-half tactical standoff, flashes of brilliance, Suzuki's heroic final stand, and finally, the path ahead.
Section 1. The high-stakes setup. Let's set the board at the massive AT&T Stadium in Arlington. You can only imagine the atmosphere in there. The noise, the sheer weight of expectation resting on the shoulders of these players as they walked out of that tunnel.
Because guys, this wasn't just another group stage match. It was a pure survival scenario. For both Japan and Sweden, the math was incredibly simple, but pulling it off, terrifyingly difficult. A single point secures survival and guarantees a spot in the World Cup knockout rounds. Think about the intense psychological pressure that puts on a squad. Do you risk pushing your fullbacks forward, going for the win, but leaving yourself wide open to a counterattack? Or do you play it entirely safe, knowing that just one single mistake, one wrong move, one slipped pass in the defensive third could literally mean packing your bags and going home? That underlying tension, that fear of making a mistake, dictated everything we were about to see.
Moving to Section 2, first-half tactical standoff. So the whistle blows, and right away, this incredibly tense, methodical, and disciplined atmosphere just settles over the pitch for the first 45 minutes. Down on the touchline, we had this brilliant contrast in managerial philosophies. You've got Hajime Moriyasu's Japan, a team built entirely on a fluid, intricate passing structure, going head-to-head against Graham Potter's remarkably disciplined, structured Swedish defense. And honestly, neither manager wanted to blink first. Potter deployed this suffocating mid-block, completely cutting off the passing lanes that Japan usually exploits. They set up their pieces, and this center of the park just completely seized up. The midfield turned into this rigid battlefield where space basically did not exist.
Look at how that standoff played out. It was a half defined entirely by midfield interceptions and tactical fouls. There was absolutely no room for attackers to breathe out there, let alone turn, face the goal, and get a shot off. Now, we did get brief, fleeting glimpses of that signature Japanese fluidity. At one point, Keito Nakamura manages to find this tiny pocket of space between the lines and forces a really strong save from the Swedish goalkeeper, Jakob Odell Zetterström. But even with that sudden flash of danger, the board remained completely locked. The halftime whistle echoed through Arlington, and the score sat untouched at 0-0.
Which brings us to Section 3, flashes of brilliance. Now, as we all know, tactical patience can only hold for so long. When the teams came back out of the tunnel for the second half, the energy shifted completely. That rigid structure we just talked about, it was about to crack wide open into a window of pure, explosive chaos.
Just take a look at this timeline. You can see exactly how dramatically the game accelerated. For almost an hour, nothing gave way. Total gridlock. And then, boom, in the 56th minute, Maeda scores. Barely 6 minutes later, in the 62nd, Elanga equalizes. And then the drama stretches all the way into stoppage time with a massive save from Suzuki. Let's break down exactly how this tactical stalemate finally shattered.
So, the crucial point to remember is this number right here, 7. When Japan finally picked the Swedish lock in the 56th minute, it wasn't just the opening strike of a really tense match, it was actually their record-breaking 7th goal of the tournament. And the way they systematically dismantled the Swedish defense to get it, absolute masterclass in one-touch passing.
Watch how this builds into a team move of the absolute highest quality. Step 1. Yukinari Sugawara initiates the play from the right flank, sliding a beautifully crisp pass inside to break the first line of pressure. Step 2. Ritsu Doan meets it with this gorgeous instinctual flick, not even taking a touch. Step 3. Ayase Ueda takes that flick and returns the favor with a devastating angled pass that completely slices the Swedish defense in half. Step 4. Daizen Maeda makes a perfectly timed run on the stretch, controls the ball, and just calmly slots it right past Zetterström. It was rapid, surgical, and totally unplayable. Suddenly, Japan leads 1-0.
But remember that high-stakes pressure we were talking about earlier? Just 6 minutes. That is exactly how long the Japanese joy lasted before Sweden mounted a rapid retaliation. 6 minutes of relief, instantly erased.
And this brilliantly illustrates the two totally different ways you can win a football match. We just analyzed Japan's intricate, surgical team synergy, right? 4 players moving in total harmony for a collective goal. Well, Sweden's equalizer, on the other hand, was built entirely on pure, unadulterated individual class. Because when the system is locked down, sometimes you just need a spark of magic.
In the 62nd minute, Anthony Elanga receives the ball out wide on the right flank. He looks up, spots his defender, and cuts inside with absolute intent. He drives all the way to the corner of the penalty area, totally bypassing the defensive structure, and out of nowhere unleashes this stunning, curled left-footed strike. The ball flashes violently past a late-reacting Zion Suzuki and tucks neatly right into the far corner of the net. Just a spectacular display of individual brilliance to tie it up 1-1.
All right, Section 4, Suzuki's heroic final stand. So we're all tied up. The stakes are right back to where they started, but now the clock is the absolute enemy. We move into the dying moments of the match. The 90 minutes are up, the board goes up for stoppage time, and tournament survival is suddenly hanging by a thread.
Sweden wins a late corner kick, and guys, they almost snatch a dramatic, heart-stopping victory right at the death. Alexander Isak rises highest in the crowded box, beating everyone at the near post to flick a powerful header toward the goal. I mean, the ball looks absolutely destined for the back of the net. But Zion Suzuki, the Japanese goalkeeper, pulls off the sensational, instinctive reaction save. He manages to throw a strong hand up, tipping the ball onto the crossbar. It bounces back into the 6-yard box, absolute chaos, but Suzuki bravely throws his body right back into the mass of players to gather the loose ball and end the threat once and for all.
Finally, Section 5, the path ahead. And breathe. The referee blows the final whistle, confirming a really hard-fought 1-1 draw. In the end, it was a result of mutual convenience, right? Both teams got the single point they needed to survive and advance. But make no mistake, that point was not handed to anyone. It was earned through 90 exhausting minutes of sheer tactical grit. So, where does the dust settle?
Now, what's really interesting about these final standings is how they set up the rest of the tournament. Japan finishes second in Group F with 5 points. Their reward? An absolute heavyweight round of 32 clash against Brazil in Houston on Monday. Meanwhile, Sweden advances as one of the best third-place teams with 4 points, and they're now waiting to see if their path in the knockouts crosses with either France or Norway.
This tactician's chess match in Arlington ended in a stalemate, but it successfully kept both kings on the board. The group stages are over, the safety nets are entirely gone. So, with survival secured through such intense tactical grit, the only question left to ask is, who will survive the heavyweight battles of the round of 32? Thanks for joining me.